So let me tell you a couple reasons why the DeKalb justice system is broken. I'm going to start off with the fact that anybody, I don't care who you are, can walk into the courthouse and say anything. I could go into the courthouse right now and say, Jane Smith is harassing me. And I would be getting an order of protection that day. I don't have to show any type of evidence, just on my word that this has happened. And I understand being considerate of victims, but these judges have to understand that when you sign off on an order, it holds weight. And when you give someone a order of protection based on lies, you are ruining someone else's reputation and appearance. And what I mean, let me tell you, give you an idea. There's a young lady who assaulted me. When I say assaulted me, I mean like bit me in the fucking leg. I had to get medical attention, destroyed my house, keyed my truck. I don't drink. I am the weirdo that buys drinks to stock his house, but I don't necessarily drink. I'll have a Mike's Lemonade. That's like the most I'll ever have. I think once or twice I've had a Long Island, but you're never gonna catch me like going over to a party just drinking repulsively, needing an Uber to get home. So this young lady came over my house, who happened to be a former employee, with her kids, got completely wasted, rolled around the street in Brickville, made a huge scene with the neighbors, bit me in the leg, destroyed my house. When I say I was cleaning broccoli out of places I didn't even know existed, keyed my truck on the side of it, and then gets upset because one of my employees was handing out business cards and happened to put business cards on her car. So she goes into the courthouse and says that I'm stalking her. And, you know, this is someone that I referred to at one point as like a sister to me. She's done so too. I have text message of that. She goes into the courthouse with no evidence, no phone calls, no text messages, no video, no witnesses, and gets an order of protection. That's insane. But here I am with video footage, a written apology from her via text message, a written apology from her kids via text message, a police report, an insurance report for my truck, and the fire department coming to my house to make sure that my wound is treated properly. What? And she gets an order of protection. Let me tell you something. The judges are not held legally responsible for what happens after they sign those orders with people's lives. But you have a moral responsibility to validate and to verify what you're being told before signing on those orders. You know, Judge Buick, I have a problem with her because every single time I'm in front of this lady, if you're a guy, let alone a black guy, I'm not saying she's racist, but she is definitely biased. There is a reason that every attorney that goes before her with an order of protection files an SOJ. There is a reason every single attorney that does that. It's common knowledge in that courthouse that she hates men. I don't know what happened to her personally, but it is insane to me that any person, I can go into Jewel right now, get someone's name tag, go over to the courthouse, make up a complete lie, and get an order of protection. And I have to hire an attorney, defend myself. She was so dismissive today. I asked her about getting a closer court date, because the longer this stuff stays out there, the harder my campaign is. She's no. I want to give the other party time to find an attorney. That's all fine, but we can come to a conclusion that neither of us is going to contact each other, a civil one, and then you can dismiss this. This is a criminal document. This is unacceptable. The justice system in DeKalb is broken. Anybody can say anything, and you have to defend yourself. Simple. No evidence, no nothing. I did receive a notice from the sheriff's office that the state's attorney's office refused to prosecute this young lady. Although I have photos, I have pictures of my vehicle being keyed, there's a police report, the fire department was out there, I have text messages from her apologizing, I have text messages from her children, I have a report from child services, but they're refusing to prosecute. She's saying that the reason why she trashed my house is because I pushed her. Wait, you mean I pushed you after you bit me in the fucking leg and I was bleeding all over my pavement and dragging blood through my house? No, I didn't push you. Why do your kids send me messages after that night apologizing? She makes up these claims, I'm adding her friends on Facebook. The same friend that you said I added was the young lady who reached out to me and said, look, I thank you for helping me get her home safe. I'm sorry she attacked you and that she was drunk. Seriously? Okay, Rick Amata, my problem is, for so long, people have been forced to pick between one evil versus the other evil. And I'm sorry, but that's fucked up. But I'm going to tell you this. If you must choose between one evil versus the other, please do your damn research. Because right now, we do not have a good candidate for a state's attorney. Rick Amata, I know for a fact that he misuses the funds for the felony diversion program. That program was designed specifically to run a specific way, and it is not being ran like that. And the people in charge under him of that program have really no say-so. I remember being on that panel, and a young lady came in and applied for the panel and had mental health. I'm talking like it was very clear. She had medical records of mental health. She had acknowledged it, that her situation was, in fact, a mental breakdown, not a criminal one. And so we denied her for the program based off that and thought that she would fit based on another program that is more from helping people with mental problems. And I remember being told, your opinion really doesn't matter. It's left up to Rick. Then why are we here? The program is designed to have members of your peers help you get an idea of how the program can best fit you. And then we deny someone. And I don't know exactly if there was any type of agreement stating what we can and cannot say being a part of this group. But what I do know is her problem was not mental, and she should not have been allowed in the group. Especially because this isn't the first time, and it's a mental thing, and she's going to be back. Rick Amata made all these promises not to overcharge anything. Why is it that I'm being charged with disorderly conduct for making a complaint with management? Just in those terms, making a complaint with management at the library. If you want to show me a complaint that says that I was rude, disrespectful, hostile, ignorant, inconsiderate, loud, find a complaint for disorderly conduct that says that. But no, you don't shove a complaint in my face that says that I showed a member of management text messages and photos of their employee in a way that broke the peace. I'm sorry, but your employee sending me nude photos after I've said stop, and I blocked this person multiple times and they call me from different numbers and different apps, that, my friend, is disturbing in a way that broke the peace. And the thing is that I don't think that they understand is, at some point, these photos are going to come out. This guy is still working at the library. At some point, discovery is going to be had. I'm most likely going to find out if it's legal or not for me to release the photos. Edit it clearly, because, you don't want to be charged with revenge porn. But why am I being charged with disorderly conduct? Why am I still fighting a case for disorderly conduct for making a complaint? And listen to me, and don't the library dare say that I was rude or something like that, because the manager lady, that the first one that I spoke with, gave me her personal number and her handwriting and her schedule and was invited to a dinner party at my house. This was in the same conversation that was reported to the police. So if you're so damn uncomfortable, why are you giving me your personal number? Why are you telling me that your kids, that you and your husband had a hard time with an adopted kid and you guys finally settled, you guys had kids? Why do I know all this stuff about your personal life if you're so uncomfortable by this conversation? So the fact that I am still fighting this, paying thousands of dollars in legal fees, is insane. So Rick, you're overcharging stuff. You're literally doing the exact same thing that you said you wouldn't do. Why is it that the secretary at Rick Amata's office is still employed after she racially profiled me at the state's attorney's office? And then admitted to it and apologized in front of the head of the program. Seriously? Why is it, Anna Winheimen, whatever you want to call her name, she's not a good option for state's attorney. Why? Because she has shown, I have emails of her disregarding my time after missing 2 appointments. And I cannot tell you to go vote for somebody that I don't believe in. Simple. That's a fact. I cannot send you to vote for someone that says, I thought it was pretty generous of us to send our campaign manager to even speak with you, and I won't have her time disregarded. I'm sorry, your campaign manager isn't running for state's attorney. You are. Why is it that, the sheriff's office has become the puppets of the court system? Literally the puppets of the court system. And DeKalb. To be honest with you, let me be honest with you. If you're an officer and you work for the sheriff's department and you have multiple complaints of discrimination, use of force, you don't want me to be your sheriff. You're most likely going to be fired the minute I take office. Simple. We're most likely going to start a hiring process of getting more people in there, different backgrounds, different respect levels. I don't speak to the police because I've become kind of a public figure here. I get pulled over a lot. I don't answer any questions. But my concern is, I look forward to the day when I was young, we used to look forward to being cops. We used to play cops and robbers. I look forward to the day where the job is still carried with integrity. It's still respectful. And I know that that's very, very hard. And, I recently was arrested for, obstructing a peace officer because I didn't have my driver's license and I didn't want to get out of my vehicle. With everything that's going on, I'm not getting out of my vehicle, and then you call for backup. Long story short, I was charged with obstructing a peace officer. And I have nothing against cops, but I have something against the way they approach my vehicle and how they operate. And what I mean by that is, I remember when I first moved here to Sycamore, I had gotten pulled over by an officer, and I called the police department because the guy was so respectful. His hand wasn't on his gun. I think he did write me a ticket that day. Was so respectful, and he came from a place of, hey man, like, you do realize that the speed limit is such and such and you're going such and such, and I have to write you a ticket for that, versus a, who are you, who does this car belong to, what are you doing here, da da da. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, the reason why that incident was so difficult is because I had this idea of, I had one bad impression of Sycamore PD, and that's that they twist your words sometimes. But other than that, I had a very positive experience with Sycamore PD. So when I got pulled over and the officer was already, you know, macho and hostile, especially after I had been profiled at Hy-Vee, I just did not want to speak to him. And then on top of that, if I tell you during the traffic stop that I don't want to talk to you, why would you call me 4 to 6 times over the next 48 hours? Clearly, I'm not wanting to talk to you. That is harassment. But, you know, none here or there, they're protected. The justice system in DeKalb County is so fucked. DeKalb police, what are you doing? Like, what exactly are you doing? Honestly, I think NIU police do more for DeKalb County than the DeKalb police does. What do you do? I very rarely see, I mean, when you're living in a city where people are stabbed and shot every day, the police force needs to be a presence. In those in those neighborhoods where it's high risk, the police should be such an overwhelming presence that the criminals are afraid to do anything crazy because they know they're going to get caught. It is insane. This system, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to be the guy that tell you, but I am at war with the system. I am at war with everything DeKalb County is built on negative. I am still trying to figure out how to start a petition to have the swastikas moved out of the damn courthouse. I'm sorry, but that just bothers me. I'm not Jewish. I wasn't born in that time, but it bothers the hell out of me. As a citizen of this county, when you go into the courthouse, that is what you see. That is the first impression that you see. Sorry, I mean, this is just a rant of me talking about what is wrong with this county. It's so wrong. You know, everyone says, okay, we understand that, you know, you're pointing out racism, but what can you do for DeKalb County? Let me tell you something. If I cannot build or find the funding to build a recreational center that helps young men and women stay out of trouble after school or reintegrate them back into society, I will use the salary that I am allotted as sheriff to do it myself. I will take at 100% of my salary if I cannot find the funding, and each year I will pour it into that mission. What is the sheriff's office doing to reintegrate people back into society? What are they doing to keep criminals off the street? You know, I had met with a group of young people last week to kind of get an idea of, you know, what they'd like to see from the police officers in their community. And one of the kids said, you know, perhaps you want to have some type of program where the kids get to hang out with the police and see what actually they're, because it's not all negative. The police are not all about shooting people in the middle of the street and putting people in chokeholds and tasing people. So I came up with this idea that I would host like a Saturday where I would have members from the at-risk community come out and we would do fishing with sheriff, or camping, or teach them how to change a tire. A lot of the kids from lower income households do not have fathers at home, so they do not have the opportunity to learn how to change a tire before they're on the side of the road flat. The very first tire I changed was on the side of the road with a YouTube video. So I think that's something that I'm really gonna do. If I'm elected. I think also we need to spend more time educating people on politics, because ever since the very first conversation I had about running for sheriff, I think it was with Anna. Ever since I had that conversation, I started considering it. People around the community have asked me, "Are you running for sheriff of DeKalb County or Sycamore?" I'm sorry, I didn't know Sycamore had a sheriff. People are so uneducated on what that entails, what that looks like. And so, what is their vote really going to? So I'm sorry if you don't have any if you don't see any of the, Michelson for sheriff signs, if you don't see, my campaign is 2 years away. I'm setting myself financially up to be able to walk away of my obligations and have them take care of themselves. In January, my campaign will be in full-fledged, and we're going to make change. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to stop until the sheriff's office is no longer the puppet of the court system. I am not going to stop until the judges stop signing off on things with no evidence. For example, I had a ticket for driving with no insurance. I go into court and Judge Doherty would not even hear me. He says, "Oh, you have an attorney. Therefore, you need to have your attorney come in before the ticket can be dismissed to talk to the state." Why does my attorney need to be here to dismiss a ticket that's unnecessary? The state can look at my insurance and say, he's got insurance, this ticket is, you know what I'm saying? So, that's just another few $100s I have to pay my attorney to come in on a ticket that should be dismissed already. And then on top of that, you cannot tell me, Judge Doherty, I don't think that's his name. I've always found him to be very fair, but I have noticed something in my last 2 interactions with the guy. He's clearly following what's happening in my campaign and what's happening in my personal life. Because I went before him yesterday and he mentioned to me that I had missed 2 traffic tickets the day before and that he should have signed a warrant for my arrest. Clearly, that wasn't true. I went to the clerk's office. That never happened. I did not have 2 tickets that were up the day before. Actually, I had 2 tickets that were up the next day in front of him. But clearly he knew that I had those tickets up soon because he mentioned it. So clearly he's following what's going on with my campaign and what I'm doing in the community. Judge Buick, extremely biased. Extremely biased. I feel sorry for any man that goes in front of her seeking fairness. I'm sorry. She will sign off on anything. Just put it in front of her. Say you're for the state and put it in front of her. She'll sign it. Don't even care. She don't even read it. Long story short, this system is broken. It's so broken. I was suing the Sycamore the Sycamore Police Department. And my case got dismissed because the attorney came into court and said, Your Honor, we've been trying to reach out to him and motion this up for dismissals. We've got no answer. But she brings the envelopes in that were returned from the post office. Clearly, if you got the envelopes back from the post office that said no longer at this address, clearly I didn't receive those. The lady was so dismissive, she didn't even want to speak to me. The truth of the matter is, Sycamore's going to end up settling this because I have photos and video of what happened that day, and I'm not going away. It is my intent, and I'm currently seeking legal counsel for the matter. I have a couple people that I'm going to get back to on whether they're going to represent me or not. It is my intent to file a federal lawsuit against the city of Sycamore, its library, and Curtis Velasquez of the Sycamore Public Library. A federal lawsuit, which means that it will be handled down in Rockford, not in Sycamore, not in front of judges that are biased and unwilling to hear both sides. So, with that being said, I'm sorry. I am officially waging war on this county and the politics of this county. And I would seriously urge you to be very careful when you get in that booth or wherever you're voting this November. If you're being chosen or asked to vote for the lesser of evil, please weigh those options. Please. That's all I'm going to say.